Taking a road trip with 8 kids is always an adventure before we even get there. This year, our family of 10 headed to Gatlinburg, Tennessee for a mountain vacation. And before we could even make it to our cabin, we had to make a stop that everyone told us we couldn't miss. Buc-ee's. We have never been before, so today we are taking you along for our first ever Buc-ee's experience and answering the question, was it actually worth the hype for a family of 10? Welcome to our Was It Worth It series. We are visiting 10 places around Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge and answering one question. What's actually worth your time, money, and memories for a family of 10? We'll share what worked, what didn't, and whether these stops and experiences are places we'd recommend for your own family vacation. When you travel with a large family, getting out the door is its own adventure. We have learned that the key to traveling with 8 kids is expecting things to take longer than you think. There's always last-minute bathroom trips, forgotten items, and someone who suddenly needs something right before we leave. But once everyone is buckled in, we were officially on our way. Before this trip, so many people told us you have to stop at Buc-ee's. I honestly wasn't sure what to expect. I knew it was a gas station, but everyone talked about it like it was an attraction. The first thing we noticed was this place is huge. For a family of 10, any stop on a road trip has a few important requirements. Are the bathrooms clean? Can everyone stretch their legs? Can we find food and snacks? And can we get back on the road without it becoming a whole event? Clean, easy bathroom stop can completely change the mood of the whole road trip. One of the biggest things parents know when traveling with kids, especially potty trainers, is bathrooms matter, especially when you have 8 kids. The kids really enjoyed walking around and seeing everything. There was so much to see at Buc-ee's. Honestly, Buc-ee's felt like part gas station, part grocery store, and part souvenir shop. Ellie even found a section of stuffed blueies, and she was so excited. The boys also found some unique boxer pants. Noah bought a souvenir t-shirt. And of course, the kids' favorite part was picking out snacks. This is where traveling with 8 kids gets fun because everyone has an opinion. Everyone picks something different, and honestly, this was all part of the experience. Sometimes it's the little things that make a road trip memorable. We let each child pick out something different, and each child got to pick out what they wanted for their snack. And that really helps to make the trip memorable and make each child feel special, that they get to pick out something that they really like. When you have kids, souvenirs aren't always about the item itself. Sometimes it's having just a little something that reminds them, remember when we went there? And of course, Greg had to get coffee because every road trip needs a happy driver. And we had to get gas. After exploring, getting snacks, using the bathroom, and filling up the van with gas, we were back on the road. And now we are officially headed to Gatlinburg. So was Buc-ee's worth it for our family of 10? I would say yes. Was it just because it's a fun place to stop? No. It actually worked really well for us as a large family. Why it worked? First up, the bathrooms. Clean bathrooms are always a huge win. Food choices, everyone could find something they liked for a snack. Stretch break, the kids could walk around and get their energy out. Convenience, we could fuel up and keep moving. What would we do differently? If we stopped again, I would probably plan a little more time. With 8 kids, we wanted to see everything, but there was just so much to look at. I also would have a snack budget ahead of time because when everyone starts finding things that they want, things add up pretty quickly with 10 people. For our Mama Simply family score, we gave Buc-ee's our family rating of 4 stars. It was a fun experience, but snacks and souvenirs can definitely add up. It was little kid friendly. There was so much to see and explore. Big kid friendly. Everyone found something they enjoyed. It was easy to navigate. It was a large space, but there was a lot to see. And the time needed, I would plan for at least 30 to 60 minutes minimum. And would we return? Absolutely. It was a fun stop and a great way to start our vacation. Our Gatlinburg, Tennessee adventure was just beginning. After Buc-ee's, we headed toward our cabin in the mountains where we would spend a couple days during the next week exploring, relaxing, and making memories as a family of 10. Next, in our Gatlinburg series, we're going to give you an honest look at our cabin, what we loved, what we would change, and whether it worked for a family of our size. Thanks for coming along with us, and we'll see you in the next one.